Hello everyone, it's Elliot here, and as always this channel is all about collecting Blu-rays. Now this video is going to be something a bit different because I require your participation for this. This video is about you, because I want to find out how you collect. I'll run through some of the things that I do, and if these happen to resonate with you, or perhaps you do the complete opposite, then do let me know in the comments, because I really want to get some good discussions going on. And I may end up doing a follow-up video to this, maybe sometime next week, and I'll include some of your comments. So if you want to take part in that, just leave a comment down below. So I've been thinking a lot lately about collecting in general, and actually just collecting as this philosophical idea, and looking into why people actually collect and questioning what do I get from collecting all of these movies. I've told this story before, so I'll keep it brief, but when I first got into buying Blu-rays, I didn't really know much about movies at all, and it was really my curiosity to watch certain movies that really got me buying a lot of Blu-rays. I hadn't seen a load of big films that lots of people have seen, so I always say I'd never seen the Godfather movies, never seen Goodfellas, Fight Club, Pulp Fiction, Taxi Driver, etc. Like lots of massive movies, certainly hardly any world cinema foreign movies at all. I'd barely seen any black and white movies, so I was really not cine literate at all. I very soon discovered what I now call boutique Blu-rays, and I found the Eureka Masters of Cinema line, and I loved everything that I saw initially from the Masters of Cinema collection, and then I began collecting Arrow Video titles, and then Criterion started releasing titles in Region B here in the UK, so that began my collecting the Criterion collection. So that's how I got into boutique Blu-rays. Fast forward to early 2019, and this was when I was looking to purchase my first home with my girlfriend. And I very quickly realised, as we were going through the process of looking at houses and getting a mortgage, I realised I'm not going to be able to fit my whole Blu-ray collection into the kind of home that we could afford at the time. So I'm either going to have to get rid of a load of movies, or I'm just going to have to put them in storage. And I didn't really like the idea of that, because putting them in storage just meant, you know, they're not even going to be seen by me. I might even just forget that they're there. So as we got closer to getting our first home and moving in, I made the decision to cut out a massive chunk of my Blu-ray collection. And that was the standard releases, the big studio titles. I got rid of about 500 or 600 of these. I just sold them on eBay. I didn't really make too much money from them because those studio titles aren't really worth much on the secondary market. And that is the long answer to the question that I get a lot on this channel of, do I only collect boutique Blu-rays? Because that is primarily what you see on these shelves behind me, and it's what you've seen if you've watched my entire collection video on this channel. Well, I do mostly just collect boutique Blu-rays, but I do have a handful of those standard releases of some of my very favourite movies, but for the most part I don't have many of those anymore. So where does this leave me now? Well, my collection is full to the brim. I've run out of space again. I have these two cases in the back, which, by the way, if you want these particular shelves, I did a video on these shelves, which I'll link in the description. But I only have two of these, they're full, and I don't know where else I'm going to put Blu-rays. So again, this is bringing up those same questions of collecting and what can I prioritize. One of the things that people will ask me a lot is, will I buy everything that Criterion puts out or that Indicator puts out just because it's been released by their label? And I've always said yes, because most of my favourite films have come from blind buying movies from these labels. So if it's worked so much for me in the past, why would I stop now? Because there's probably so many great discoveries ahead of me from these labels. However, with me running out of space, it's making me question, should I still collect every spy number? And let's be honest, they're not the cheapest things in the world as well. These boutique releases can be quite expensive. So yeah, it's making me think a lot about collecting, and I've just got a lot of questions now. So I'm not going to do anything reckless and get rid of everything, but it is making me think about how I collect and what I gain from it. And something I've been thinking a lot about lately is minimalism. Now, minimalism is the belief that owning fewer physical possessions will actually give you greater clarity in life. It'll make you happier, your mental health will be better, and you're just not burdened both physically and mentally by having tons of stuff around you. Now, it's pretty crazy that I would be thinking about this given who I am, and I'm a massive collector, but there's a lot of things that I've been reading up about within minimalism that is answering a lot of questions about how I collect and what I get from collecting. And it's making me think a bit differently about my purchases. I know from comments in the past that a lot of you will just collect the movies that you love, and you will only have those movies that you truly treasure in your collection. Now, that's something that I couldn't do 5 years ago, because like I said, Blu-rays were my way of discovering movies, and I never really sold any until I did that big sell-off before I bought my house. So I couldn't do that back then. But now that I'm in a position where I've seen thousands of movies, and I really could compile a list of my favorite, 250 movies, 500 movies even, it's getting me thinking differently about whether I should maybe move towards that and just focus on movies that I love already. And I can still buy Blu-rays to discover new movies, but if I realize that I don't love it, maybe I can just let it go. So that's the minimalism creeping in. And if you've ever watched Marie Kondo on Netflix, she's this Japanese lady who she goes around people's houses and she gets people to sort all their clutter and get rid of all the stuff that they don't want. And she always says that if it doesn't spark joy when you hold it, then you should just get rid of it. And one of her rules actually is that no person should have more than 30 books in their home. And I'm pretty sure she would apply the same thing to movies. So I don't think I could quite go down to 30 movies in my collection. That would be very difficult. But it's given me some food for thought. So anyway, I'm going to cut it short there. That's just the gist of why I wanted to make this video. So as I said at the start, please do drop some comments below about how you approach collecting, and whether you agree or disagree with me. I want to hear your opinions on how it is that you go about collecting movies. Oh, and of course, if you liked this video, you liked this discussion, please do subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be lots more discussions like this. There's going to be a lot of reviews and Blu-ray collection lists, etc. So if you like that kind of thing, then subscribe and hit the bell to be notified as soon as my videos get uploaded. Before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters for all of the help and encouragement with this channel. It really has meant so much to me so far. And my Patreon producers, Paul and Jason, thank you so much. As always, you've been a great help, and it's been great chatting to you so far as well. So if you want to check out my Patreon page, it's patreon.com/boutique Blu-rays. If you want to stick around on the channel, just click one of the videos on screen right now. Hopefully you can have a good time with those videos. I'll be back very soon, so until then, stay well and keep watching great movies.